Hi, Eric.
Hi, Kassi.
How are you? I never ask you how you are.
I'm good. How are you? You've never asked that before on any of these episodes, and it's weird. It threw me.
You know what it is? It's if just not that it matters, but normally we record these in the afternoon. I think I'm a little more high energy. But this one we're recording in the evening, so it just I don't know. It had a different vibe.
You had a different vibe? I mean, there is a level of vibe change inherent to time of day, energy level.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because it's dark outside. I don't have the overhead light on. I just have a lamp on, so it's just kind of mellow.
Oh, so
I
you're
don't
in
know.
a
How are you?
mellow mood.
Felt right. And then I said it.
You're in a mellow,
Yeah,
chill
I said it
vibes
and then
mood. You're
immediately regretted
this is the
my
kind of, you're in the kind of
choices.
mood when you're let's turn on some sort of soft background
Mellow.
music and make a nice cup of tea and just sit there and listen to an NPR radio host show or something. I don't know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right? Is it just me or does NPR, I've never heard NPR, but isn't that kind of a chill vibes thing? I don't know.
I haven't either. I don't know. I've heard people say that. Not the chill vibes thing, but just kind
I
of
don't even know what NPR is, honestly. I know it stands for what, National Public Radio or something like that, but I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna be honest, mostly looks like news.
Nonprofit media organization.
I'm reading, oh, farewell, fair penny.
Oh, I'm what? I had a moment there where I was what are you, because the penny thing, yeah.
6 design tricks to transform your home according to feng shui.
It takes them 21 minutes to get through 6 tips.
Ooh, how to talk about money privilege with friends. There's a comma there. So
What if you don't have friends?
privilege with friends. And I don't know why that was, it was an awkward comma. Also, I was thinking, I guess this is how you know we're not really friends, because anytime we've ever gone anywhere to split the bill, it's we just immediately kind of know.
I mean, yeah, but don't we nose goes as who pays for it usually? It seems like it's whoever pulls their card out first pays for it. It's the reverse. It's not you have to pay for it. It's not either of us is bailing and having the other person pay for it.
Yeah, no, that's why we never talked about it. That makes it sound like we go out together a lot.
Well, I mean, it's literally just the coffee shop every once in a while. I will say, though, if we ever go out to eat, if you and Trey and me and my girlfriend ever go on a double date thing, we are going to both be oh, I guess we have to go to the bathroom real quick and just not come back. Yes, not you and me. It's not going to be us both up and leaving.
We're just leaving between Trey and your girlfriend of who's going to pay. We're we'll let them sort it out.
That would be pretty funny, actually. See which one of them ends up paying and we just hide outside.
Trey, 100%.
I would like to think it was Trey. Call me a traditionalist, but I would like to think it was Trey.
Yeah, once it comes down to the two of them, Trey would pay. Between you and Trey, he'd still probably pay.
You think he'd pay? He'd assume I'm broke?
I think he would just look at you and be nah, that guy can't pay. Trey's a nicer person.
Yeah, he's probably right. He's probably that guy's too brittle. You know what? I would allow him. I'd be you know what, Trey? You can pay for it like a gentleman.
You'd be sir, you read me like a book. I am brittle.
You read me like a pamphlet. Not even a book, because books are hard. You read me like a pamphlet. You read me like a billboard.
You're I'm not that complex.
You read me like an audio ad on the TV. You weren't even looking, but you heard all the information. You read me like a commercial.
Yeah, there's all that stuff at the end where they're may cause death.
I don't know why. I was totally picturing, it's you read me like a commercial. It's what? I read you really quickly, in a blur. It's just blah, 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 blah.
Really quickly, and it was none of it was good.
You read me like a commercial. You mean I was on mute?
Oh my gosh. So we went to our friend's house this last weekend for a get together, and we're all just kind of, there's a bunch of people, we're all just hanging out, eating, whatever, chatting, and their dog just starts trying to attack the TV, right? Just flipping out, trying to get at the TV.
What kind of dog?
And it's a labradoodle? Yeah, it's a labradoodle, because
male or
they
female?
also, okay, sorry, tangent, male.
Fixed or unfixed?
I don't know. I'm going to guess fixed.
Classic
But
fixed
anyway.
male labradoodle behavior.
But okay, anyway, sorry, quick tangent on that. He's a Labradoodle because they like to joke about the fact that he's a hypoallergenic dog who has really bad allergies and has to
he
get
has
allergy
allergies?
shots every month. Yeah, he the dog has really bad allergies and has to get allergy shots every month as a hypoallergenic dog.
Sorry, not to tangent a second time, but you said he the dog, and now I can only picture having a dog that's name is he.
He the dog.
It's like he the dog. It's like I have this one dog. His name is he.
My one dog.
It's like he get over here. He.
Here he.
Here he. Here he. Here he.
You're just walking there and going, here he, and people are like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm just like,
it kind of sounds like you're like doing a bad impression of a donkey. Like,
yeah.
here he.
Here he. Anyway, can I get back to my story?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
so
I should say no, but yes.
The dog is trying to attack. It's like up on the TV, right? Or up on the TV. It's the TV. It is up on the wall, and he keeps trying to jump at it. And we're all like stopping because we're like, what is going on? Because this is a very chill dog, except right now. And our friends proceed to tell us that he cannot stand when there are animals on the TV, specifically animals with legs. He hates other dogs.
That's a weird distinction.
He hates horses.
Have they tested this? They've tested this.
Yeah, no, like they're like, Shark Week, he's fine. Fish, could care less. Birds,
snakes.
Birds are like a weird thing because I mean, like they have legs, but mainly they're flying around. So like,
snakes.
You know,
snakes?
I didn't ask about snakes. I'm gonna ask her about that and be like,
what about dolphins? Because they're not fish technically.
Dolphins, yeah, nope, he doesn't care. Mainly, it's
what about
the big one is dogs.
If you had a video of a leg amputated cow?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think he'd still have a problem with the cow. Yeah.
What about a video of an animal with legs, but you cannot see the legs? Like a cow as viewed from above.
I don't know. Do you want to set up a day and we could go over and just test the dog? Test all the things.
I just think if you're going to test your dog and you're going to make the blasé statement, that blanket statement that your dog doesn't like animals with legs on the TV.
Yeah.
I think you can't make that statement unless you've done thorough testing.
Okay, well, either way, they explicitly said the dog doesn't like other dogs, doesn't like horses. Yeah, doesn't care for cows, things like that. Yeah, we were asking because I remember, I think Trey asked, what about an ostrich? So, but yeah, it was really weird. Super weird. And they said that he knows the difference between TV shows and commercials because you know how like the sound changes when it switches over. And they're like, he could be in another part of the house, and when it switches to a commercial, he'll come like barreling in the room to make sure there's no dog commercials or there's like nothing on the TV. He's like, I won't have it. I won't stand for it in my house.
If it were all dogs, like he only got mad at dogs, then I could be like, oh, he's just jealous, you know? Like
right,
he just doesn't like the fact there's a dog. He's like, I don't want you looking at other dogs, you know? Like jealous. But it's horses as well. So maybe wait, what were the animals again? List the animals that you said specifically.
I know the stories she was telling. It was dogs, horses, cows. I felt like Trey asked about an ostrich, but I don't remember what the answer to that question was.
Dogs, horses, cows. Yeah. All common like animals that are kept as like a status symbol. Wealth. You know?
Yeah.
The dog is jealous. He's saying, listen, I get that you want to watch TV, but I don't want you watching other dogs. Lions. I don't want you looking at horses. You can't buy a horse because if you buy a horse, you're going to have no time for me. If you buy a cow, you'll have no time for me. You know, It's like a jealousy complex.
I will say they also said he does not like the Lion King. Like they can't play the Lion King.
Well, that's because there's horses and cows and dogs in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the horses, cows, and dogs.
Because, you know, there's so many cows in... There's so many cows in The Lion King. Like,
so many.
Isn't like the main character a cow? Or at least there's that one like cow that hangs out with the meerkat, right?
Yeah, what's the cow that hangs out with the meerkat? You know this.
It's Moomba.
Wow. Killed a little missile.
What do you mean I killed him? What was I supposed to say?
His name.
I did. It's Moomba.
Moomba.
Get it? It's Moomba.
Yeah, I did when I repeated it back to you. I thought you.
Yeah, but I feel like you're not appreciating the joke.
I never appreciate you jokes.
I don't appreciate you.
I already know that. But I know, I thought that was really interesting though, because what's weird is their dog is super friendly. He loves other dogs. She said when they go on walks, he constantly is wanting to play with other dogs.
What about like cows?
I don't know. I don't know if he's ever seen a cow.
What about horses?
I don't know if he's ever seen a horse in real life with his own little eyes.
What about...
I don't know.
I'm curious how he feels about large cats.
Apparently,
I mean,
as long
he
as
doesn't
they're
like
not,
the Lion King.
Yeah, as long as they're not ruling,
but is that
okay?
Well, is that because it's the lions, or is that because of all the other animals?
Ooh, I don't know. We'll have to get him like what are those really big house cats?
Mancoons. Also, how does he feel about depictions of animals? Like if it's a cartoon dog. Like
seeing as he didn't like the Lion King, I'm gonna say he's not a fan.
Well, okay, but I was picturing the quote-unquote live-action one for some reason. Quote-unquote being the argument for it's not live-action, it's all CGI. There's not a single live-action thing in that movie. But, just saying. Well, I am curious. Well, okay, so you said he doesn't like the Lion King animated. So then I guess depictions...
Yeah.
What about like a depiction of a cow?
I'm going to draw a cow and show it to him. I'll let you know how he reacts. I also am like, is this only on the TV? If I put a drawing of a cow on the TV, is that the same?
I don't know. What about a pencil drawing? Is that what you were saying? Like a pencil drawing?
Yeah, that's
on
what
the
I'm
TV?
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I just screencast it to the TV, does he feel the same way as if I showed him a picture of it?
So I don't know.
I have so many questions now.
Yeah, it does beg the question. It's interesting. I'm curious how exactly.
Like I said, I can call my friend and be like, hey, Eric and I are going to come over and test your dog's insaneness.
I just think if you're going to, I still think it's the same thing I said earlier, but if you're going to like make a blanket statement like that, you need to have done the testing so that you can back it up with evidence.
Yeah. I'm going to tell her this is for her. So now she can have
it's for her.
certified
100%.
from
We're doing
us
this for her.
that we've tested every animal. We're going to make a slideshow. And we're going to do a slideshow of animals, and we're going to mix them in and with just like scenery pictures, and we're just going to see which ones he responds to.
And we'll even introduce a few like random like outlier things, like the inside of a McDonald's or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I
you
think
can have
variety.
Like something to just give you a completely different like outlier.
Yes, I agree. Okay, well, I'll schedule this.
Okay, let her know for certain that this is a favor to her. Yeah. So therefore, she should be grateful, and she should owe us like at least dinner.
Oh yeah. Well, she is a great hostess. I'm sure she would have made us dinner anyway.
Okay, but just let her know it has to be like.
I'm gonna be like, this is Eric. He's extremely brittle. He's gonna need fed. So.
Listen. I'm just an appreciator of free food. Okay. You know?
Yeah, I'll let her know.
Like if I can get a meal for free, I'll take it.
I understand. I see you at the dumpsters all the time.
No. I have never once been in a dumpster. I don't do the dumpster diving thing.
Really? You've never been in a dumpster?
Actually, that's a lie. I take it back. I have been in a dumpster before, and I have done the dumpster diving thing at least once, but it was with other people.
What were you dumpster diving for?
I don't remember. It was just like I think it was like a construction site.
You were just there for
because if you like when they're building like neighborhood houses and stuff, and you can often get like decent scraps of wood and stuff out of dumpsters.
They really frown upon that.
I know, but this was like years ago. They didn't frown upon it then too, but this was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
I feel like you say you were with friends. That's what you say? That's your story?
Yes. Actually, I didn't say friends. I said other people.
Oh, did you? Oh, my bad. I thought you said friends. Other people.
They are friends, but for the sake of, I don't know what, for the sake of something, they will remain nameless. For the sake of my memory, because I actually don't remember who it was.
I don't want you to name them anyway. That's interesting that you've been dumpster diving.
You've never gone dumpster diving? I mean, you shouldn't go dumpster diving. It's a really bad idea. It's actually pretty dangerous and not really like
I don't think I've ever
okay. It's frowned
gone.
upon in most places. But you've never done that?
No. I mean, like you said, if I had, it would have been at a construction site just because my parents worked on construction sites. But I feel like anytime I went in a dumpster, it was more to be like, I'm going to hand you things, go pile them in the corner or whatever.
Anytime you went in a dumpster, it was like, because that's where you belong.
Yeah, my parents just put me in dumpsters all the time. It's really sad.
No. Actually, you know what? I take it
Sometimes
back.
they came back.
I was picturing like dumpsters, like, you know, out and about at like construction sites. If you're thinking just dumpsters, which I guess all dumpsters are dumpsters, I've actually been in a ton of dumpsters because I grew up, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I grew up on a farm, right? I grew up, farm. It's like, I call it a ranchette because when you say farm, you picture crops and you picture very large, and it wasn't crops, it was animals, but we've always called it a farm, but it wasn't a ranch because ranch also generally elicits an image of like thousands of acres. So
lots of cattle.
I call it a ranchette. It was like a small farm ranch, small ranch farm. But we would usually yearly, if not at the very least bi-yearly, so every other yearly, get like a large dumpster. Because as on a farm, actually any house sort of accumulates trash, but like especially on like a farm, if you have land and animals and stuff, you accumulate a lot of trash. And a lot of it is bigger stuff that's not stuff that necessarily can go in like normal waste. Like so you can't just throw it away easily. So you have things that like you have to, like you can't just put in your trash can, right?
Yeah.
So we would at least yearly, it might have been like every other year, but we would get dumpsters. So I've been in a number of dumpsters because we'd load them all up with trash and like various garbage and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because my parents worked on construction sites and then they would there was a lot of home remodel growing up and stuff. And so, I feel like it's weird to think about. Like,
you also had a lot of home remodel growing up?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My parents' house that I grew up in, I don't think, other than like the last couple years that I was living there. So, and that was when like most of us had moved out and they were getting older and stuff. But other than then, I don't think there's a single point in my life for like the first, let's say 20 years, 23 years, that there wasn't at least one wall or one ceiling in that house or one room in that house that wasn't in some state of disrepair because we were like remodeling stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that wasn't missing the drywall or wasn't like torn apart or was like had exposed wires that like were all capped so it was safe, but like hadn't been wired into things yet because we were in the process of remodeling stuff.
Yeah. We there were periods of time where my parents were not remodeling, but there were definitely large spanses of time where
I guess technically there's probably inevitably there were times that we weren't actively remodeling.
Oh no, yeah, I just mean like I feel like there was probably
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, even within that realm, there like were always, even when we weren't actively remodeling, there were usually at least one section that was like just had started and then hadn't been finished. So it still was like missing part of its drywall. And I'm pretty certain there's only one wall in that entire house. It's an old like ranch home, 2-story ranch house. But there's only one wall in the entire house that's not an exterior wall that hasn't been moved. And that's because that is a load-bearing wall, so we're not allowed to move it.
Well, you can move it. It's just a lot more work.
Well, that's true. But every other wall in that house has been moved at least once.
I'm trying to think. The house I grew up in, there, most of the walls were taken down. It was like opened up more. Some walls were put up, but mainly walls taken down.
You know what's interesting? I just had this thought. I'm like, not counting the outside of the house because we never redid that outside brickwork. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that house is a little bit like the ship of Theseus.
Right? It's to the point where it's not.
If you don't count
even the same
house,
house.
If you don't count the exterior walls, there's very little in that house that's original.
That's really funny to think about. Like, is this the house you grew up in? And you're like, not anymore.
I mean, okay, so what's your opinion on the ship of Theseus, if we can tangent into that real quick? For those that don't know, just context real quick. For those that don't know what the ship of Theseus is, it is a thought experiment. I think it's like a philosophy thing, but basically there's a ship called the ship of Theseus, and over time, parts on the ship start breaking. So like boards rot, decay, like sails tear, and you start replacing pieces. And you keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this until every single piece on that ship has been replaced. And there's nothing left on the ship that was there when it was first built. Every part has been replaced at some point. And then the argument is it still the ship of Theseus if every piece has been replaced?
I mean, I would say in feeling, yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because...
Well, I have this like sort of self-contradictory opinion about it.
Oh, I know what you mean. I feel the same way because I'm like, like on a very basic level, no, of course it's not the same ship. It's completely new and different. But on a different level, it's like, yeah, but if you were still using it the whole time and, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though you've replaced everything, that's still your ship and you're still using it and it's still, or like whatever. You know what I mean?
My theory is that it depends on what the object is you're referring to.
Ooh.
So basically, like, if it's something with significance, let's say it's like something in a museum, right? If it's something in a museum and over time it's decaying and you have to replace every single fundamental part of that, I could see you arguing that it's no longer that thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, say, I don't know how this would even possibly happen.
Isn't that kind of where that came from, though? I thought that's where the
I think so, but I'm saying
like the museum doing restoration on things, but then at a certain point they're like, is it even that item anymore?
Yeah, but I don't know because like, so what my example, which is not a good example because I don't know how this would ever even happen, but let's say like the Mona Lisa, right? Let's say over time you had to somehow replace the paint, which I don't know how this would end up happening, but like you had to replace the paint, you had to replace the canvas, which means you're repainting the whole painting anyway. So this is a really bad example. But in theory, because the Mona Lisa is like this work of art, it's an iconic thing, right? There's a part of me that's like, I would think if you did ship a Theseus, the Mona Lisa, you could make an argument that's no longer the Mona Lisa. Like everything, it's a really, really, really high quality forgery at that point, functionally. Yeah. Right? It's a replica because it's not the original.
That you could have went with like the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
I know, right? I could have gone with literally anything that actually would have made sense.
Oh, they had to repair part of it. So then when they repaired that part, they just kind of replaced that bit of the mural, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's a bad example. It's such a bad example. I could have gone with literally anything else and it would have made more sense than a painting. But regardless, like, I think something like that with that significance has a level of, with significance, but like, let's say, I want to say like passive significance. Like it's significant, but not in an active, it's being used today kind of way. It's more like it's just there. Yeah. And it's significant, but it's significant in its history, not in its like active connotations, right?
Yeah.
So then the other side of that is that if it's something like, say, like let's say like back in the day, it's kind of nowadays wouldn't matter, but like back in the day, like Blackbeard's pirate ship, well, he's actively using it, right? There's a level of, even if you replaced every single part of that ship, let's say it had a specific name. I don't know if it did, but let's call it like, I know the Jolly Roger is the name of like the skull and crossbones flag, but let's just call it the Jolly Roger. Let's say that's the name of his ship, right?
Right. I'm definitely.
If you replaced all the parts, as long as he's actively still using it and it's still like the image of you see that ship and you go, oh no, that's Blackbeard's ship. It's still functionally the Jolly Roger because like from a cultural zeitgeist kind of idea, it still is that holding that role of that object, regardless of whether or not the physical thing's the same, right?
Right.
And like what's interesting is as I was saying this, I couldn't help but think of what's that like cathedral that burnt down like years ago? I say a couple years ago, but it actually was a lot more than that now. Was that the Notre Dame? Was that the one that? Well, what I was thinking about was that, and I'm like, I feel like that lives in kind of a crossroads between those two things to me, because it's this passive significant item or location.
It's more of the symbolism of the item than the actual item.
It's like, I mean, obviously the entire thing didn't burn down and they didn't have to rebuild the entire building, right? Like it was a repair, extensive repair, I'll give them, but it wasn't like literally every part. But to me, I feel like that lives in this crossroads where it's passively significant because it's, it's the Notre Dame, it's the cathedral. But at the same point, especially for the people that live there, it's this like it's got a very present active significance in the like that's the Notre Dame, right? It's very active, it's very significant. It's not like, oh, the building got burnt down, you rebuilt the whole building. They would look at it and go, that's no longer the Notre Dame, right? Like it still has the same significance even if it's not literally the same thing. So it kind of lives in like this crossroads of being a historical thing that's sort of passively significant while also being actively significant, I think.
Yeah. I agree though. Like, well, when we started this whole thing, I was like, I agree that I was like, I think, like, I understand on the one level of like, oh, if you've replaced everything, then it's not the same item anymore or whatever. But that's why I was saying, I was like, with feeling, based on the feeling, it's the same thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because, or like you were saying, if it still has use or significance or anything like that, then I think it still is that, you know, even if it changes. Or even if it's not all the same original parts or anything.
I mean, yeah. Like to a small extent, there's a part of me that's like, this is a really, really, really mundane example, but it's kind of like your cell phone, right? It's like, this is my cell phone. Even if you buy a new one, it's still my cell phone. It's not like, oh, it's not technically your cell phone because your cell phone was such and such. And it's like, no, that was my first cell phone, right?
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't make the current one still not your cell phone. And I think that's sort of what my mindset with the active idea with the ship of Theseus is that if it's actively in use and significant in the present day to the people involved with it, then it doesn't matter if you replace all the parts. It's still what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking kind of like when you rebuild a car, you know, if you replace everything on the car, it's still your car that you had and it's still that model and make and all that kind of stuff. Like none of that changes even if you replace every single part on the car, you know?
That's true. Well, like, and even if you do like, you know, the one where you build it from the ground up from like a frame and you just build the whole thing, there's a level of you're building, like if you build, say, a like 1984 such and such, right?
Yeah.
From the ground up frame, all new parts, all new, like you find ways to manufacture all the parts. So everything's brand new. You're still going to call it a 1984 such and such that you built from the ground up. You're not going to call it a 2026 such and such. Right?
Right.
Like it's
right. Yeah.
it's
You're
still,
not going to suddenly be like, oh, it's now this year because I just rebuilt everything and all the parts are from this year. You would still say it's it's whatever the original year was.
Because it's modeled after that.
Yeah.
It's based on that car.
That is interesting to think about, like that people don't do that when they rebuild a car, even if all of the parts they used were manufactured today. Yeah, they're not going to rebuild a car and be like, oh, this is my 2025. You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, this is my 2025 Thunderbird. And it's like, no, it's clearly still just a Thunderbird. It's just made with modern parts.
Blackbeard's ship was named, it's a French name, so I'm going to butcher this. And it was La Concorde. He captured it in 1717 and then renamed it Queen Anne's Revenge.
I knew that, Queen Anne's Revenge. I should have known that. That actually kind of bugs me now.
I didn't know that. I mean, like, I feel I've heard Queen Anne's Revenge, but I did not know that. The shipwreck was discovered in 1996. Cool.
On the topic of pirates, okay? I heard this story. I don't know if it's true. I have not fact-checked it. I also don't know if there's any updates to this story because I will say one of the stories we talked about in a previous podcast, I was told after the fact they have recently actually resolved it. But,
okay.
Speaking of pirates, I heard this story that there was a group of pirates. I believe it was in like the, whatever ocean is near like China. I'm bad at geography. What's over there? Which one is that? Should I know this? I should know this.
The Pacific?
The Pacific. Yeah, you're right. So I was specifically talking about that one.
Okay, whatever. Go on. It's fine.
Sorry, what is your thought? Hold on. Nope. What is your thought?
It's like there's just not even that many oceans.
I know, but I felt like in the moment, I felt like it sounded less dumb to ask than to say the wrong one, you know?
No, I feel you. I feel you on that. I just thought it was really funny because I was like, I mean, mainly where we live, the country we live in, there's two oceans. So you had a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, but I don't know which one touches China.
Okay,
I don't live in China.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
I believe it was somewhere near China is where this happened.
Okay.
But it might have been somewhere else. But there was a pirate fleet crew that was like this whole fleet of ships. And supposedly they would like show up, attack the things, like take plunder everything, plunder the other trade ships, leave and just disappear. And like supposedly, I don't know, and there's a possibility they do know this. There's a possibility it's not true at all. But supposedly there was something along the lines of like they still just don't know where they went or who they were. Like to this day was the story.
Okay.
Was that it was just a group of pirates that just like were notorious for like a span of like 10 years for just raiding every ship that like went through this area, and then they vanished and no one knows what happened to them. And if it's true, I find that fascinating.
That is fascinating. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know how you would find out if they've ever released anything about that. I just feel like
Yeah, I don't know.
there could be so many like pirate stories. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me see if I can hold on. Let me see if I can Google this.
What was the other story that you told, and then you were later
It was the one about, this is like, I think it was early on in the episode, so it's like one of the first 2 episodes. So if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. But it's the one where I was talking about the concrete that like the Romans used.
Oh, that's right.
And how apparently, I have not verified this information either, but apparently they do now know what it was made out of.
Oh,
and that was only in like the
okay.
last couple years, so I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I'll have to look through my notes and see if I can figure out when we talked about Roman concrete. I was going to tell you, it's actually a story my sister told me, but she said she was like at home and she's like looking out her front window, she's looking out at her yard, and there's a kid walking down the sidewalk, and this plastic bag is just kind of like following this kid in the wind, right? And just keeps kind of getting wrapped up in the kid's feet or whatever. And the kid, will like kick it away and whatever, and keeps walking. And then the little plastic bag follows him down the street with the wind. And she said this kid keeps like turning around like he's being chased, right? He keeps
Wait, was this like a real thing she saw?
Yeah,
happen?
no, this is what she saw in her window. And she said the kid keeps like turning around like he's being stalked or something, like he's being chased. And he keeps looking at this plastic bag, like, why is this bag following me? And the bag just keeps like, the wind keeps like pushing the bag, like attacking this kid, and he keeps like kicking the bag away. And she said it was like one of those things where like he starts like walking faster, right? And it's like he's trying to get away from this plastic bag that's like harassing him.
From a plastic bag.
Yeah, and she said finally he gets to like the corner and he ends up crossing the street or whatever, and then the bag gets blown off somewhere else and whatever. But she said it was just so funny because she's like, this poor kid is probably going to go and like tell his friends about being harassed by this plastic bag and no one's going to believe him. And she's like, and I saw the whole thing. Like, like this bag just, and she said it was weird. She said at first she thought the bag was like attached to him, like the way it like followed behind him. She's like, I don't know what, it was weird. But she said she just loved the idea of this kid having to go tell people that he was harassed by a bag, and she's the only other person that saw it happen.
Like, you know what? That makes sense. That's why so many places are getting rid of plastic bags, is because they're a menace to society. They're bad for the environment and they harass small children.
Yeah, it's not about the turtles. It's about the children.
Save the children. Get rid of plastic bags. Don't let the bags chase your child down the street.
Just picture be like one of those really corny horror movies, and the bag like slowly eats the child and like pulls it into the bag.
I'm just like, what? That's how would that work? Is it pulling them in from like the legs first, or is it going to go over their head? Because you're not supposed to put bags over your head. No,
I'm picturing like the bag trips him, he falls down, and then the bag like slowly pulls him in, like the bags from Harry Potter, where they're just like everything, like, or like Mary Poppins bag, right? It's like, you live in here now.
Mary Poppins bag. Speaking of Mary Poppins, we had this conversation about like I feel like we had this like off the podcast, but I want to bring it up here because I still think it's a good idea. Yes. I still want to know, and you gave me a hard time about this. I want to know more Mary Poppins origin story. I want to know the backstory of the character, and like not the story, because I know there's like that movie Saving Mr. Banks and whatever, and I know like there's a whole story about like the character.
Like if Mary Poppins is real, you want to know if Mary Poppins is real, what her backstory was. Not
yes, I want to know in universe, in lore.
Yeah,
where did she come from? How does her magic work? And what is her purpose? Like, what is the reason she exists? And I heard this. So my girlfriend was telling me about this, how there's this theory that is a thing out there that Mary Poppins exists within the Harry Potter universe. And
Okay.
she's just a wizard or a witch. But
Okay.
I think, while I could see that being the case, I think that that's cheapening Mary Poppins' lore. I think that Mary Poppins should exist within her own magical nannyverse, and I don't think she needs to be tacked onto some other universe. So I
Especially
think
'cause she was
Mary
birthed.
Poppins, Nanny McPhee, and any other magical nannies all exist in the same universe, and they should have some sort of origin story movie and like an Avengers style team up where they have to go out for these really, really bad kids.
It's just the nanny crew. Nannies assemble.
Yeah, exactly. I want a list. Hold on. I'm going to look up a list of magical nannies and see how many there are.
Could the fairy godmothers in Sleeping Beauty count as nannies, magical nannies, because they did raise Aurora from a baby?
Perhaps.
I'm trying to think of other magical nannies.
Well, okay, so I found 4.
Oh,
There's Mary Poppins. There's Nanny McPhee. There's Susan Stowe Hewitt, which is a character from the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, who is a magical nanny.
those are all words
And
I
then
know.
there's a character named Nurse Matilda. I don't know what from. I'm not seeing anything that says what she's from, but is apparently the character that Nanny McPhee was based on.
Oh, so it's like 2 Nanny McPhees in this group?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, then I vote we should add in the fairy godmothers
Okay.
from...
So I looked it up, and for some reason, and I don't know exactly why this person's included in here, but Mrs. Doubtfire is included in the list of magical nannies, and I would love for that to be the case in this story.
Okay. I guess that really depends on your definition of magical, right? Like,
I mean, Robin Williams was pretty
Like-
magical, so.
the little daughter, very impressed, you know? So probably
The fact that
being
he
very
managed to
magical.
like pull the wool over their eyes for any length of time and pretend to be this other like Irish old lady, almost magical.
And he definitely, Mrs. Doubtfire definitely embodied the same like attitude as Mary Poppins of like, we're gonna have fun, but if you step out of line, we will not have fun, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to dance with penguins? Make your bed.
What?
You know?
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I thought that was a completely unrelated question, like leading into another story.
Oh,
You're
I'm
like,
sorry.
anyway, so you want to go dance with penguins?
Do you want to go dance with penguins? I have these passes.
No, thanks. I'm good. I'll pass.
All right.
No, but yeah. I just think I love the idea now. Okay, so picture this. Nannyverse. You have an early origin story. You're at like the Magical Nanny Academy. You have Mary Poppins. You have Nanny McPhee. You have the other 2 people I mentioned. I forgot the Discworld character and the one that Nanny McPhee is based on. And then you have this person, and that in this world is just Robin Williams, but it's like a werewolf lycanthrope kind of situation. So he has the ability to physically turn into Mrs. Doubtfire, but it's not like makeup and a costume. It's like he's changing into this person.
Yeah.
So then like that character, and then you just like take any other nannies from like media and try to pull them in and make them like magical in some way, and then you just have them nannyverse. I'm just and then you have them go up against like supervillains. Let's turn it into like a superhero story, and we're gonna turn it into supervillains, and they're gonna fight villains that use like code names like the Terrible Twos or whatever, right?
I feel like this would be a really good children's series.
Am I going off track here? Am I losing people?
Well, how far are we into this? I think we've already lost most of them.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think. I mean, I know I'm getting a bit extravagant with the idea. It's a bit ridiculous, but I do think some sort of
What we're
like
here for.
backstory, Nanny McPhee or Mary Poppins kind of like magical nanny something would be interesting.
I like them being mysterious. I like not knowing. You know what I mean? I like that she just showed up one day and I don't know where she came from. I don't know how she got so magical. She's just here. I don't know. Do you also like to know how magic tricks are done? Like, if you go to a magic show, do you just accept what happens, or do you
Ooh,
have to
here's
know?
an idea. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Let's piggyback off of the success of Wicked, okay? Which is weird to say because Wicked's been successful for a long time, but we're
Like
talking about the movie,
decades, but
right?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. We're going to piggyback off the back of that. And we're going to do a rivals to best friends story with Mary Poppins and Nanny McPhee when they first went to magical nanny school because their nannying style is so completely different. They're like complete polar opposites. Because Mary Poppins is all about like positive reinforcement and like let's go dance with penguins and use sugar and sing silly songs. And Nanny McPhee is all about the you made your bed, now lie in it, but magically, so you're forced to magically deal with your consequences, right?
Right.
So it's going to be like exact polar opposites. We're going to piggyback on the vibes of Wicked and make like this Nanny McPhee, Mary Poppins, enemies, rivals to best friends kind of story.
I can't wait.
Right?
I can't wait for you to write this.
And then Mrs. Doubtfire is just going to be like there as like a character that's involved in the shenanigans.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Doubtfire is like the third friend, you know? That's not the best friend or the enemy, whatever you want to call that.
Or get this.
They're the third friend that brings the two
Mrs.
friends
Doubtfire is
together.
one of the instructors.
Oh.
Which is weird to say because I think I know Mary Poppins the movie came out long before Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
So it's weird to make Mrs. Doubtfire the older, more seasoned character, but still.
But it's magic, so.
It's magic. You know, they're all immortal anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wait, how did we get onto this from the plastic bag story?
I said the plastic bag was going to eat children and it was just going to be an endless bag, like Mary Poppins' bag.
Oh, okay. I had this moment of, wait a minute, why did we make that transition?
How did we get here? And then you got really stuck on Mary Poppins because you need to know where she came from. You need to know.
I do. I want to know where Mary Poppins came from.
I don't think it's a want. I think it's a need.
No,
But you didn't answer my question. My question of when you see a magic trick, do you have to know how it was done, or do you say, that was a fun trick, and move on?
I don't have to know how it's done. In fact, I don't even actually generally spend that much time wondering. Like, I'll often be like, well, that's really cool. And I'll sometimes be like, I wonder how they did that. And then you move on.
Do you see a magic trick and then you immediately go, where are you from originally?
Yes, I do. I look at it and go, what magic system are you using? Is that like a strict magic system? Is it what they call a soft magic system? Are you coming from like a background of like which fantasy world? Like, I want to know.
Wizarding school did you go to?
Which wizarding school did you
credentials?
No.
I like it. I like that you're just immediately attacking any magician, being like, where are you from?
I don't do that. Where are you from? And they're like, Poland? No.
I'm your
I don't
neighbor?
know why I picked Poland.
Yeah,
Are there a high number of magicians in Poland? I don't know. Anyway.
I'm sure there were statistics behind why you said that.
No, what I was saying was I don't need to know how the trick is done. However, I will say, because I know for a lot of people this is not necessarily the case, but for me, even if I do know how the trick is done, I don't find it any less satisfying.
Yeah.
Because it's still cool to see it and be like, even though I know, like in some ways it's better because when I know how it's done, my brain will still often be like, when it's well executed, my brain will still be like, but that seems impossible.
Yeah.
And that's almost better sometimes.
I think magic tricks are great.
You like magic tricks? You're a big fan of magic tricks?
Big fan. Love it. So cool. Can't do them.
Interesting.
Can't do them at all.
You can't do any magic tricks?
No, just the one magic trick that me and my sister did on my mom. That was the only.
What was that?
That was when I went to see her for her 60th birthday, but she didn't know I was there. So I went to Florida to surprise her and my sister. So I was hiding in the back room at my sister's house, and my sister was standing in the hallway, and she told my mom, like, oh, I practiced this magic trick for your birthday. And so she had a blanket, and my mom was like, oh, when are you going to disappear? And so my sister's like, cool, you ruined the trick, right? And then so my sister held the blanket up, and she counted to 3 or whatever. But when she dropped the blanket, I was standing there instead of her. And my mom was super, super shocked. Like, her face, genuine shock. Like, you could see her brain couldn't comprehend what was happening for a second, right? But that's the only
Yeah.
magic trick I've ever done and successfully pulled off. And I didn't even do it. I would say technically it was my sister's magic trick. I was
You
just
were
a part
like
of
the
it.
assistant.
I was the assistant.
You know, I want to know my jerk reaction.
Always.
My jerk reaction when you said you've only ever pulled off one magic trick, and I was like, "Is it when you bring down the vibes when you enter a room?"
Oh, that's not even what I thought you were going to say.
Wait, you thought I was gonna say something else? What do
Yeah.
you think I was gonna say?
I thought for some reason you were going to make some joke about me like hypnotizing Trey or something and tricking him into marrying me. I don't know.
I mean, that is also okay. So
I
you
don't-
pulled off 2 magic tricks.
Yeah. Oh, look at me. Successful.
There's no way Trey married you without it being under duress, is what I'm saying.
Oh, probably not.
Because he's tons of fun and you're no fun at all.
He has tons of fun. That's, I agree.
I agree.
I have nothing
Yeah.
more to say that. Oh, can I tell you about someone who I thought was tons of fun?
Okay.
Okay, great. Just wanted to know. So this was a while back, but Trey and I went to Chick-fil-A to get dinner. And we're in the drive-thru, and you know how like the Chick-fil-A people stand out at your car and take your order, right? And they like walk with you. Well, so we pull up and we're talking to the girl, and she's like, "Oh, what can I get you guys?" And I give her my order, and she's like, "Okay, then that sounds great." And then she's like, "And for you, sir." And then Trey gives his order, and she goes, "Do you want a Dr. Pepper?" Or she's like, did you say you want a Dr. Pepper with that? And he goes, "Yeah." And she's like, "Just beautiful. That's just beautiful." And then she's like, "Okay, that will be your total." And then, so she just kept doing this the whole time we're talking to her. She just kept slipping into like accents. And I
Was it
loved
always the same one or?
No, it was like slightly different. It was like roughly the same one, but it was like slightly different. But it was super weird. Like sometimes she would just have a normal American accent. Sometimes she had this like little British thing going on. I don't know. It was crazy.
You ready for the twist, Cassie? You ready for the twist? Maybe the American accent was the accent, and maybe she is actually British.
Right. I don't know, but I just thought it was so much. I thought it was so fun that she just, I don't know, kept changing her accent every time she.
You know what?
talked to
That's
us.
fun though, because
I
that just
did.
means
I
they're
thought that
having
was
fun
fun.
with their job, right? They're having fun with it.
Yeah, I thought it was really
Like you
funny.
pull up to the drive-thru and they're like, "Pip pip cheerio."
Jolly good, sir.
No,
Jolly good.
That was a bad. Jolly good, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't catch her name, so I couldn't leave a comment about her and that she was wonderful. But I should have.
So is the point of the story that you're saying you wish more people would like have that level of just fun with their job?
Random accents all day.
I don't think it's necessarily random accents. I think it's having fun with your job.
No,
It's
I think it is.
being-
I think it's being lighthearted.
Yeah, it's just like not caring what other people think and just being open to being silly.
Especially a job like that when it's cold and you have to stand outside and it might be a little bit miserable. You're standing on concrete in the cold, I know they have the heaters for them out there, but still. So I just
Do you
appreciate
think
that she
that-
was in a good mood and she was having fun with it.
Do you think that doing an accent increases your body temperature?
No, I was saying that like she's miserable out there. Like she could have easily just been miserable out there doing her job. And she was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make the best of it and I'm gonna have fun.
Oh, so that's what the point. I was like, because for a second there, I thought you were implying that doing an accent makes you warmer. You're like, if you're cold, if you're dying, if you have hypothermia, just whip out an accent and your body temperature will skyrocket.
Just as long as it is not your, usual accent, you're gonna be fine. If you get embarrassed easily, that actually might be scientifically true.
They do say that most women find men with an accent to be hotter. So to an extent, it's kind of sort of true if you take it abstractly.
If you think about it, that's so.
Anyway, that is fun. I think there is a level of like having fun with your job. I mean, there's so many people out there that hate their job, right? And I mean, there's a level of if you're in a job that you just really don't like, it's hard to find the fun in it, find the joy in it, right? But I think there's a level of opening yourself to like the silliness that it's like can help even with a very mundane kind of like meh job.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important if you kind of joke around and you make light of things if you just kind of are trying to have a good time. I think it'll actually make your day go by faster or better, you know?
Yeah. Well, and there's a level of sorry, my train of thought just completely disappeared.
Mine too.
Choo choo. We're leaving the station. All thoughts aboard. Yeah. Anyway. No, there's a level with like enjoying your job and like the being like looking for the silliness is also a level of like don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take your job too seriously. There's a level of like you're allowed to have fun with it most of the time, unless you're doing a job, in which case that's actually very important, in which case maybe you should be somewhat serious. But even then,
I like to think that somebody is listening to this right now while they're working and they're having a really bad day. And my hope would be that then their day turns around. But in reality, they're going to be like, shut up.
They're going to be like, you guys are morons. Yeah, no. But I mean, no, but
sucks.
Like, I'm not one for like the whole positive vibes thing, right? I'm not like you got to send out happy, positive energies. Like, that's not me, right?
Oh, I know.
Are you saying I don't have any positive vibes? Wow.
Not towards me.
That's true. But there is something to be said for, even if you're not talking like external energies, you're not talking like external vibes, right? But you're talking like yourself. There is something to be said for telling yourself you're going to have a good day, or that it is a good day, or that whatever's going on is not that big of a deal, or you'll get through it, or your work it's going slow, or it's not fun right now, but it's like, you know what? You'll be fine. It's a good day. It's kind of like the positive affirmations thing, which seems silly to me, but I know they work. It's one of those things where if you can tell yourself that, it changes your outlook, which then can have an effect on your day, even if the day doesn't actually change, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I feel like we do that a lot at work, honestly.
Yeah.
I
do that a lot in my life.
It'll be like a rough day, and I know we're always just like, it's fine. Is it the best day ever?
I know that I'm like
but it's fine.
I know that I'm like a chronically optimistic, potentially optimistic to a fault kind of person. So like, to me, it's not something I have to actively do. I just do it. But I kind of live my life that way, where it's like, nah, it's going to be a good day. It'll work out. It'll be fine. It's like, yeah, right now may not be fun. Right now may be rough, but we'll get through it. It's not the end of the world. And I don't know. I think it makes your day generally better. I try to like consciously take a moment and be like, you know what? It's fine. We'll be fine. This may be rough. My job may be tiring right now. I may not want to be here, but it'll be fine.
It will be fine.
And maybe even sometimes look for the things like there's a level of, even if you have like you hate your job, let's say you absolutely hate your job. If you're open to it, there's probably some part of your job that you don't hate. If you're looking for it and you're actively trying to find the part of your job that you like, it's probably, I can't guarantee it's there for you, but I feel like it's probably there if you're looking for it.
If it's not there, it might be time to think of a new job.
Yeah, if there's literally nothing you could like about your job, maybe
it might be time to find a new job.
But I would say, generally speaking, if you're like a neutral on your job kind of person, the kind of person that's like, it's a job, right? When someone asks you what you think of your job.
Yeah.
If you're that kind of person, I would bet that if you were open to it and you're looking for it, you could find some part of your job you like.
No, I agree. But I had this conversation with our coworker just the other day that he was asking me how like you and I stay so positive, and I said, I think we're just horribly optimistic people. I think it's just who we are.
100%.
It's really
like I said, I think I'm an optimistic to a fault kind of person.
So I was like, I don't know. I think it just comes by naturally that we're like, oh, this is fine. It'll be okay.
I have a tendency to treat important things sometimes a little bit like blasé. Is that the right word? I don't know. I've used it twice now.
I don't know. I was about to ask you if you just learned that word. You were using it a lot.
No. But I do have a tendency to sometimes treat important things, a little bit without the importance they deserve. Not that I don't treat them as important, but like I guess,
You don't
let's say
put
something
anything
that's
on a
like
pedestal?
serious and not necessarily positive, I'll sometimes treat without the importance that it deserves, because I'm like like chronically optimistic that I'm like, it'll be fine. And it's like, no, you still gotta like address the issue.
I think you address it. I think you're just not a worrier. I think you just don't worry about it until you have to address it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's possible.
I think some people are like, this is a big deal. I'm going to freak out about it until I can address it. And I think you're just much more of I am not going to worry about that until I have to, you know?
Yeah.
I'm the
100%.
opposite. I am going to internally freak out until the situation is handled.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like I don't still worry about things every now and then. I know we joke that like I don't like worry about anything, or I don't ever have like anxious like feelings of the, oh no, what could happen? And it's like that's still there.
No, I'm not trying to say like you're just like, oh, whatever, you know. I just think you're just more of a person that you're like, if I can't do anything about it right this second, then there's no point in me freaking out. Like, I'm going to freak out when I'm able to act. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's one of those things where I'm consciously enough aware of my own like brain and the way that my brain works, that even if it is something that I'm feeling more anxious about, I can sort of you don't always succeed at like telling yourself not to. And I know that's like sort of the joke of like that when you have anxiety, they're like, oh, just don't have anxiety. And you're like, if only that worked, right?
Check.
But like to a small extent, I kind of sort of almost can do that.
No, and that's what I mean.
Where if there's something that's like bothering me and I'm a little bit anxious about it, I can sort of be like, yeah, but that's not something that has any bearing on what's going on right now. There's nothing I can do about it. And there's a part of me that almost can just kind of be like, oh well, and then just sort of move on.
If I can recommend to everybody to get a not really friend, because I have said I'm a horribly anxious person. I definitely doom spiral. And my coping mechanism is I just tell you when I'm doom spiraling, and then you make fun of me for it to the point that I'm like, oh, you know, maybe this isn't a big deal.
I mean, okay, so it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. And I will say I am not your only friend that makes fun of you for it. You have other people that do.
You're not.
I'm not. Wait, hold on. Correction. Sorry. Slip of the tongue there. I'm not your only not really friend that does that. However, I am your only not really friend. You have friends that make fun of you. I'm your only not really friend that makes fun of you. Because you can only have one not really friend.
Yeah, you only get one not really friend.
But there is a level of, and it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible, right? But you've said it works. But there's a level of like, sometimes anxieties are about like really, really pointless things. They're not always, but there often are, I would say like, there's a percentage of them that are about like these really kind of silly things. So there is a level of having someone that can basically, I would say kindly, but we don't really kindly do it, but kindly point out, hey, this is silly. You can like, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Can sometimes help with your brain going, you know what? You're right. Right? And that's kind of, I think, what's happening.
I really wish I could think of an example of when this happened, but I just know that I've told you and you know, your brother, but I've told you guys like when I've had anxieties, and yeah, usually the response is just like, that's stupid.
It sounds really callous, but you said it helps. So you know what?
It is. It's something about it, and then you guys just make fun of me, and something about it really does put it in perspective where you're like, yeah, you know, that is silly. So.
It sounds so bad.
I feel like if I told you so, I feel like if I told you something I was like anxious about that was serious though, not you, but
you as in the collective you.
You as in the collective you would be kinder about it, not you specifically.
Yeah, I'd probably be meaner about it, honestly.
You probably would.
Because then it'd be something I could actually make fun of you for instead of like the pretend things.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to just make stuff up where I then question myself. It would just be real.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. I love it.
I prefer it that way.
Oh, I prefer it. Oh no, I had a thought there, and again, the train left.
Train thought leaving the station.
Yeah, I was like, I had it, and then it's just gone. I was like, nope, goodbye.
It probably wasn't important.
Probably not.
I mean, after all, it was one of your thoughts.
Yeah, well, this is why we're not really friends.
Yep.
Woot woot.
Woot woot.